Hi everyone, my name is Serena. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to do a tag. I'm going to do the Splendid Spring book tag. Yes. I was tagged by Kelsey at Bookishly Nerdy. I will link her video down below. I will also link the original video down below. And I have a few tags that I want to do and need to do, but spring is almost over, so I better do this now or I'll never will. So yeah, let's just begin because it's 10 questions plus another 5 bonus questions. So let's begin with the first one. Everywhere you look, flowers are blooming. Choose a book you love or think you will love with flowers on the cover. There are a lot of books with flowers on the cover on my shelves, but I'm going to say Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar. I think I will really enjoy this one. I don't know if it's going to be a 5-star, but at least 4-star. I'm predicting that I really will enjoy this one, so this is my answer. Number 2 is spring is the perfect time for a fun trip. Choose a book you've read or would like to read while traveling from one place to another. And when I think about travel reads, I want something quick. Maybe something in verse, since I've been enjoying those lately. I'm currently reading Clap When You Land, and this is really quick. I love Elizabeth Acevedo. And as I said, books in verse are really fast-paced for me, and I would definitely bring one with me if I were on a road trip. Number 3, who doesn't love a good spring fling? Choose a book who you were obsessed with for a short period of time, but then you swiftly cast it aside. For this one, I thought of the second book in If I Stay, and the title is Where She Went, and I remember really enjoying that one and giving it 5 stars, and for some reason, that was 10 years ago, and I never recommended that book ever again. So I need to reread that book and see if it's actually a favorite, you know? Number 4 is everyone loves the smell of freshly mowed grass, but not at an ungodly hour. Choose a book that personifies as a middle-aged dad waking up at 7 a.m. on a Saturday to mow the lawn when he should be sleeping like the rest of us. That's a fun question. And for me, this means what is a book that you love, but also makes you angry? And I'm going to say Harry Potter because I do love Harry Potter. I mean, I still love the story. That hasn't changed. But we all know why this makes me, and I hope all of us, angry or sad or disappointed, you know. Number 5 is a surprise rain shower might spoil your outdoor fun. But don't worry, the sun will be back. Choose a book that made you really sad, but the sun still shines in the end. I'm going to say a book that I've been talking a lot on my channel recently, but it fits. The Astonishing Color of After. This is definitely sad. It has depression, grief, but it ends on a positive note, so I'm gonna say this one. Number 6 is It's That Time of Year When All the Animals Stretch Their Limbs and Come Out of Hibernation. Choose a book that pulled you out of a reading slump. Definitely No Exit by Taylor Adams. That book, I read it in March and that was so quick. I could have read it in one sitting. I didn't though because I needed to sleep, but it was a really quick read and I recommend it if you love quick thriller reads. Number 7 is students all over exhale a sigh of relief knowing they get a break from school. Choose a book whose friend group you'd like to spend spring break with. And right now, whenever I think of bookish friend groups or found families, I obviously think of Shadow and Bone or Six of Crows, so I'm going to say that one. We all know this story, the main trilogy, isn't my fave at all, but I like the characters, and I don't know about spring break because they are going through a lot in these books, so we don't know their fun side, kind of. I mean, Jesper, sure. Inej, I would love to spend time with her. Even Mal and Alina, alright. And Kaz kind of scares me, but I would definitely spend time with them. So I'm gonna say them. Number 8 is spring is all about rebirth and blooming. Choose a book that made you grow as a person. This is a difficult question because there hasn't been a book that made me think that my life has changed. I don't know. But I firmly believe that every single book that we read changes us, kinda, or at least we acquire something from that book, you know? We learn something new every day. And just to mention a few, The Poet X, Homegoing, A Thousand Splendid Suns, which I don't remember much about, but I just remember being in love with that book and I need to reread it. Even Twilight. I mean, you're not going to be changed, like story-wise. It's not going to change you. It's just entertaining. But it did make me get into reading, so I became a reader. So that changed in my life. And yeah, there are so many books. Number 9 is a picnic at the park is the perfect springtime activity. Choose a book with a character who you think would pack the best picnic basket. Lara Jean, for sure. She would make the best cookies and she would bring it at the picnic. And she seems like a sweet friend, you know? So I'm gonna say her. Last question before the bonus question is, for many, spring is the first break from the bitterness of winter. Choose a book that is the embodiment of sunshine. And for me, this question means choose a book that made you happy or made you laugh or something like that. And the most recent book that comes to mind is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. And I know this deals with heavier topics too, like chronic illness and an abusive relationship, but this made me laugh. And if a book makes me laugh or cry, that means something, because I don't do that easily while reading. So I really, it was fun. It was really fun. Bonus questions. First bonus question is, the world around us is being reborn right before our eyes. Choose a book whose movie or TV show adaptation reignite a dormant obsession. I mean, any franchise back in 2010s, like the Twilight Saga, the Hunger Games. I don't know if I read the books before or after the movies, but definitely the later books like Eclipse, Breaking Dawn, Mockingjay, I read before the movies, and I was so excited for the movies to come out. And I just really miss going to the theaters. Everything is on streaming services nowadays, and I miss that. Bonus question number 2 is, there couldn't be a more perfect time to discard cluttering items with a little spring cleaning. Choose a book you've held on to for far too long, either physically or in your heart. And all the books that come to mind are not here with me. I left those books in Italy. They're on my shelves back in Italy. And by the way, I've never unhauled anything for some reason. I don't own a lot of books. I mean, I do for like the average person, but for a booktuber, I don't have a lot, you know? But anyway, I'm definitely going to unhaul something eventually. But as for the books that I have that I'm still holding on to because I want to read, them before I unhaul them, because I spend money on them. People have bought those books for me. And a few are The Coldest Girl in Coal Town. I want to read that one. Just Listen. Even Eleanor and Park. I know that's problematic, but I have that one. So yeah, there's not just one. There are a few. Number 3 is, spring is the perfect time to try something new. Choose a book that features an activity you'd like to try or a place you'd like to go to. I mean, any fantasy book that has training in them, I would love to learn self-defense. And as for a place that I would like to visit, I would like to visit any place as long as there isn't like a war or I'm not safe. I mean, you're never safe anywhere, but you know what I mean. Words in Deep Blue. That's a recent one set in Australia, and I really want to go to Australia eventually. Bonus question number 4 is springtime may be lovely, but the allergies it brings are not. Choose a book with a side character, second POV character whose presence is unwanted, and A Court of Silver Flames. The main characters are not Farah and Rhysand, they are Nesta and Cassian, so I can say that I don't like Rhysand and Farah in that book. I was never like in love with them, but in this book in particular, I do not like them, especially Rhys. I'm sorry, I don't like him in this book in particular. Last question is, with each new season comes a new color scheme, and spring does it best with pastels. Choose a book with a pastel cover that you loved or think you will love. I'm going to go with think I will love, or at least really enjoy. Far from the Tree and Letters to the Lost. These are very pretty covers. There are flowers as well, and leaves, so I have a lot of them on my shelves, but I don't want to pick like all of them, you know what I mean? I feel like I did this really rapid fire, and that's the best way to go. It's better to edit. And yeah, tell me, what is your favorite spring read? Like, what is that book that you pick up in spring? Let me know. What is that book for you in the comments, and like, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I hope you are having an amazing day or night. I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.